Today is a landmark day in the development of Calgary's technology ecosystem. Shortly, we'll hear from our new ecosystem partner regarding their plans for Calgary, Alberta, and Canada. Before reviewing our agenda for today, I'd like to take the opportunity to acknowledge that we are gathered on the traditional territories of the people of the Treaty 7 region in southern Alberta. The nations of the Treaty 7 regions are the Siksika, Piikani, and Kainai nations, who together form the Blackfoot Confederacy. The Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Wesley First Nations, who altogether form the Stoney Nakoda First Nations. And the Tsuut'ina First Nation. The city of Calgary is the homeland of the historic Northwest Métis and the Métis Nation of Alberta, Treaty 3. We acknowledge all Indigenous urban Calgarians who have made Calgary their home. Before I get into the agenda, I'd like you to know that for all of you watching online, we're following protocol. Please note that all our speakers will be unmasking and sanitizing before coming up on stage. Today's program will start with Eric Gales, General Manager of AWS Canada, providing an overview of their plans for the Calgary region. We will also welcome the remarks of the Minister of Tourism and Associate Minister of Finance and the MP for Edmonton Centre, the Honourable Paul Boissonnault. We will also hear from the Honourable Jason Kenney, Premier of Alberta, REJEAN Bourgaulт, Country Leader, AWS Canada, and Daniel Riddell, Chief Technology Officer at Cadoodle TV. Today's program will end with a brief question and answer session with our speakers. We have journalists with us in person and joining us online. Reporters online can submit their questions for the speakers through the Q&A portal. I would now like to call upon Eric Gales, General Manager of Amazon Web Services, to join us at the podium.
Great, thank you so much, Patrick, and it's so great to be here back in Calgary. Good morning and thank you to everyone. Thank you for being here today. After over a decade of building and running the highly scalable web application Amazon.com, the company realized that it had developed a core competency in operating massive-scale technology infrastructure and data centers, and embarked on a much broader mission of serving a new customer segment, developers and businesses, with web services that they can use to build sophisticated, scalable applications. This is what we call Amazon Web Services, which is now the world's most broadly adopted cloud computing service with millions of active users globally. We're proud to say that we've been serving customers since 2006, since AWS launched. And we have tens of thousands of customers in Canada, many of whom are here in Alberta, including TC Energy, Parkland, Alberta Motor Association, Cadoodle TV, Nutrien, and many, many more. Today, on behalf of everyone at AWS, I'm incredibly excited to announce a major investment in Canada. We have broken ground on a new world-class cloud computing infrastructure right here in Calgary in the form of an AWS region. An AWS region is our name for a cluster of data centers built with geographic proximity to each other. This region will complement our first, located in Montreal and active since 2016. This new region will join 25 other regions around the world for AWS. Launching in late 2023, early 2024, the new Calgary region will provide lower latency access to AWS services to the Western provinces. Organizations of all sizes across all industries and government use AWS today. These customers are able to leverage the growing portfolio of AWS services, which number over 200 today, including advanced capabilities such as analytics, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and the Internet of Things. The creation of an AWS region is a significant investment. AWS will invest more than $4 billion in the new AWS region in Canada over the next 15 years. We anticipate that this investment will contribute almost $5 billion to Canadian GDP over the same period and will add close to 1,000 direct and indirect jobs. In fact, we are delighted to say we're opening roles today for our data center operations. When you combine our existing region in Montreal and this new region we're pre-announcing today, AWS will invest $21 billion in Canada by 2037. This investment includes capital expenditures on the construction of data centers, operational expenses such as ongoing utilities and facility costs, and purchases of goods and services from regional businesses. We expect our two regions to contribute $39 billion to the Canadian GDP and add more than 5,000 jobs across the country. We are proud to meet the demand of our customers and provide them with the infrastructure and services that they need to grow and innovate in Canada and globally. Right here in Calgary, TC Energy is a great example of a company that decided it didn't want to continue to expend its own resources in owning and operating infrastructure. They made the decision to move all into the AWS cloud, meaning almost all of its infrastructure now runs on AWS. This meant that they were able to shift their focus to automating workflows and unlocking inefficiencies and innovating rather than operating infrastructure and managing costly and complex upgrades. Another example is Benevity, one of the city's largest startup successes. It provides what it calls global corporate purpose software. Amazon is proud to call itself a customer of Benevity. Benevity works with hundreds of enterprises, customers globally, to manage donations and charity engagements. They use AWS to reach their customers around the world, but also because of our commitment to sustainability. We also have many partners right here in Calgary to help our mutual customers leverage the AWS cloud to meet their business needs, like Xeris. Since 2020, Xeris has grown from an 8-person organization to more than 100 based on the demand for their services from customers in many areas, including media and entertainment, energy, public sector, and retail. Amazon and AWS are committed and invested in sustainability because it's good for the planet, it's good for our customers, and it's good for the communities that we all live in. We believe it's vital that the infrastructure of the cloud is delivered in the most sustainable way. We have a commitment to power all of our Amazon infrastructure and operations, including our data centers, with 100% renewable energy by 2025, 5 years ahead of our initial 2030 target. Amazon also recently became the world's largest corporate purchaser of renewable energy in 2020, reaching 65% renewable energy across its business. In April 2021, Amazon announced its first renewable energy project here in Alberta, with an 80-megawatt solar project in the county of Newell. In June 2021, Amazon announced its second and largest renewable energy project in Canada, a 375-megawatt solar farm in Vulcan, Alberta. We are so excited to announcing these investments in Alberta, and we look forward to working with businesses and government to innovate to serve customers and citizens across the nation and across the globe. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Eric, for the exciting news. It is really a game changer for the Calgary technology ecosystem. I'd like to take this time now to announce our next minister, Minister Randy Beausoleil, I refer to him as Paul off the start, but Randy Beausoleil, a Minister of Tourism and Associate Minister of Finance. Minister Beausoleil is also the MP for Edmonton Centre, and he is joining us streamed via Edmonton this morning.
Thanks very much, Patrick. Hi, everyone. You're not wrong, Patrick. Paul's my middle name. But it's a pleasure to be here from Ottawa, everyone, virtually for this exciting moment for the city of Calgary and indeed for the whole province. Let me begin by noting that I'm joining you from the unceded territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe Nation. And I send my sincere best wishes to all of you there on Treaty 7 territory. As you know, I come from Treaty 6 territory, a little bit north up the highway. Premier Kenney, Patrick, Eric, thank you for inviting me to join you, and sincere thanks to the Calgary Economic Development for being host today. I think we can all agree that the fact that I'm sitting here in Ottawa, speaking with Calgarians as an MP from Edmonton, says a lot about how our country and the world has changed over the last 2 years. There is no doubt that this has been an incredibly difficult and challenging time for so many. The strain on our economy and the human consequences have been devastating for all of us. But I believe that this very tragic period in history will also be defined by both heroism and ingenuity. The heroism of frontline workers that did double and triple shifts to keep people alive and safe. The heroism of countless people who raised their hands and asked, "How can I help?" The ingenuity that allowed our daily lives to adapt to drastic changes so quickly. Small businesses in Alberta and across the country that retooled their equipment to help produce hand sanitizer and masks. I was so impressed and remain impressed this day by their nimbleness and their creativity. As we all worked hard to protect ourselves and our loved ones, the world needed to find new ways to stay connected more than ever before. Chime and Zoom meetings and collaborating with co-workers via remote software went from being a niche activity to a universal, essential, and even daily practice. The technologies that have allowed us to continue essential tasks over the last 2 years have forever changed the nature of how we work. These changes and the ingenuity that made them possible will continue to evolve with greater speed and effectiveness. And as we push forward, Alberta can, must, and will be at the forefront of this work. Our ability to compete in a global market that has been shrunk to the size of a meeting link is central to our future economic growth. Our ability to be part of the development and upscale of new technologies that will be needed to feed an ever-growing demand, more available and more reliable access is paramount to our future. That's why I'm so proud today that our province's leadership in the digital technology space has received a multi-billion-dollar vote of confidence from Amazon. You know, tomorrow will mark 2 weeks since I assumed the role of Minister of Tourism and Associate Minister of Finance. 2 weeks that, as any new minister will tell you, has meant spending virtually every waking moment going through mountains of binders and learning and listening in back-to-back briefings. And during this time, the one point I keep making in meetings with officials is that economic growth is the reason that I got into politics. And that is why I'm so grateful to be able to celebrate with all of you today. This investment means much needed job creation and billions in economic activity for the Calgary region, which will also lead to increased capacity for businesses, developers, and society to thrive. This investment builds on major projects already undertaken by Amazon to invest in clean energy for their operations in southern Alberta, and is a prime example of how Alberta can leverage its natural resources to power the tech economy of the future. As I noted, projects like this require a great deal of hard work and ingenuity, two things Albertans do best. On behalf of the Government of Canada, congratulations on this wonderful day. It is an important reminder for all of us that the future is looking bright once again. Thank you. Merci. Hi, hi.
Great. Thank you very much, Minister. It's terrific commentary, and couldn't agree more on the partnership between the federal, provincial, and municipal governments. Our next speaker needs no introduction. If there's one person that you associate with Alberta and Calgary as being places that welcome businesses, that want to drive progress, grow the economy, and create jobs, it is Alberta's Premier Jason Kenney. I'd now like to welcome the Honourable Jason Kenney, Premier of Alberta, to the stage.
Thank you so much, Patrick, to you and Calgary Economic Development for hosting us for an historic day for Alberta and for this city. Thank you, everyone, for being here. It is truly a great day for Calgary and a great day for this province to see such an iconic global tech brand choose to make a major job-creating investment right here in Alberta. I'm thrilled to be here with Eric and REJEAN from Amazon Web Services, as well as Minister of Jobs, Economy and Innovation, Doug Schweitzer, representatives from, of course, Minister BOISSONNAULT, representatives from Invest Alberta, Calgary Economic Development, and others to announce Amazon Web Services' second Canadian data region, which will be right here creating jobs and helping to build the future in Calgary. There are only 25 of these data regions for AWS in the world, and the only other one in Canada is on the other side of the country in Montreal. I believe this represents the single largest investment in the tech sector in Alberta history, with up to 1,000 jobs and billions of dollars in investment from one of the largest companies in the world. Thousands of organizations across Alberta use AWS's services, and this long-term commitment from Amazon Web Services shows that Alberta continues to emerge as a global leader in innovation. AWS provides more than 200 services for computing, storage, databases, analytics, networking, security, and on, services that countless companies and organizations rely on across Alberta and the world. Even more good news is that AWS is also announcing a new training program as part of their digital skills training program called Restart. This is all part of a new age in Alberta's economy and really addresses one of the fundamental challenges we have, still with 7.6% unemployment and yet emerging labor and skill shortages in various areas like tech and innovation. It's private sector initiatives like this partnering with government programs like the Innovation Employment Grant and Jobs Now that will help to provide folks who are unemployed or underemployed with the key skills they need to benefit from investments like this. Our province has always been at the forefront of innovation, but that is more evident now than ever. Alberta had a record year in venture capital investment in 2020, and of course VenCap is the jet fuel for tech and innovation. That year, more than $450 million in tech investment, more than double the previous record, which was just the previous year. And this year is looking incredibly promising as well. The first 3 months of 2021 was the best quarter on record for venture capital investments in technology in this province. Alberta Enterprise Corporation reported earlier this year that the number of tech companies in Alberta more than doubled between 2018 and 2020, from 1,200 companies to 3,000. That is how dynamic this growth is. And sometimes we hear jargon in the tech sector thrown around like ecosystem. Well, really an ecosystem means you get to a point of critical mass where you're developing a workforce and transferable skills, and that's exactly what an investment like this underscores, that we are getting to that critical mass with small startups, with growing startups like Benevity, and with major global tech giants like Amazon making investments in the long run here. Today's exciting announcement from AWS follows from major new tech investments that have been announced in the past few months, like, for example, from Infosys and Emphasis, from M.Cloud, Rogers, Royal Bank of Canada, and so many more. And of course, all of that's on top of the exciting stuff happening in other sectors as we diversify, including petrochemicals and hydrogen. Today, Alberta is poised to lead Canada in economic growth, not just this year, but next. We've recovered all of the jobs lost during COVID, and according to StatsCan, saw unemployment fall significantly last month. Alberta's recovery plan is trying to drive forward that growth and investment with policies like, as I mentioned, the Innovation Employment Grant that is really focused on the tech and innovation sector, and the Jobs Now program, an expansion of which we'll be announcing later this week. And these programs, as I say, are designed to support companies that are investing in skills training for the growing number of jobs in information technology and other sectors. The recovery plan also included a $175 million boost to the Alberta Enterprise Corporation to help further expand availability of venture capital. So today's announcement by AWS follows on earlier announcements that Eric mentioned made by Amazon to purchase 480 megawatts of solar-generated power in Alberta. That is a huge investment. It represents the largest solar project in the provincial history, and that was made possible by Alberta being the only province to have an energy-only market. You see, Alberta's market-oriented culture gets real results, and we want to thank and commend Amazon for that important investment as well. But all of this builds on this province's most important natural resource, which is its people. The most highly educated and youngest population in the country, with a low cost of living, low taxes and regulations, an incredibly high quality of life, and I also want to salute the organizations that are going out there and working with investors like AWS, particularly Invest Alberta, and in this case, Calgary Economic Development, for their good work. So once again, to Amazon Web Services, we are so grateful for your confidence in Albertans, in your decision to make this huge investment in the future of our economy, of our tech and innovation sector, and I know that all Albertans look forward to being partners with you to ensure your success, and that will be our success as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Premier Kenney, for your remarks and your insights into Alberta's digital transformation. Next, we are pleased to be joined today by REJEAN BOURGAULT, Country Leader, Amazon Web Services Canada.
Alors, bonjour, good morning. And indeed, AWS attracts startup. So I'm thrilled that AWS is growing in Canada, driven by the demand of our customer from commercial sector and from public sector. I started at AWS in 2017 and have seen firsthand how public sector organizations have become fast movers to adapt cloud. The COVID-19 pandemic has showcased just how quickly government can move to deploy and develop digital services for citizens. As an example, with the Arrive Can apps, mandatory for all travelers coming to Canada, developed only in a few weeks by Canada Border Services Agency, and thanks to the agility of the AWS cloud. Being from Montreal, I'm proud of our continued investment in the province of Quebec. Our AWS Canada Central region that opened in December 2016, 5 years ago, has helped Canadian organizations scale, grow, and innovate with confidence. Data residency remains a key benefit of having a home-ground region, and we plan to continue our investment in the AWS Montreal region. This new region in Calgary will give our customer even greater fault tolerance, resiliency, and availability. Let's talk about skills. All this demand for cloud adoption coming from our customer around the world brings some challenges. And while we have an infrastructure capacity to support rapid adoption, the skills gap remains an issue for everyone in the technology sector. To that end, I'm proud to reveal that we work hard in Canada. Since 2013, we have trained more than 100,000 people on valuable cloud skills, just in Canada. We have a slew of free learning opportunities for citizens, including a program called Restart. It's a free 12-week digital skills training program that prepares unemployed, underemployed, and transitioning individuals for career in cloud computing and connect graduate to potential employer. I'm very proud today to announce that today we're doing an expansion of that program here in collaboration with the Calgary Economic Development through their Edge 2.0 program, AWS and Mount Royal University. We're bringing the first AWS Restart in Calgary in early 2022. Those who go through the program are being prepped for entry-level jobs in cloud computing and helping fill some gaps that exist today. Today is indeed a great day for Calgary, for Alberta, for our customer, our partner, and for all our 39,500 employees of Amazon in Canada. Before I hand it back to Patrick, I'd like to extend a thank you to Mr. BOISSONNAULT. Thank you to Premier KENNEY for joining us today. And I want to recognize the Alberta Minister of Jobs, Economy and Innovation, Minister Doug Schweitzer, who joined us here today. Thank you again, our customer and our partner, because without your support, an investment like this will not be possible.
Thank you, REJEAN, for your remarks. We're particularly excited to see the training program partnership between Mount Royal University and Calgary Economic Development's Startup 2.0 program. It means a lot to our community and a lot for our youth of the city. I'd like to now turn our attention to Daniel Riddell. He is the Chief Technology Officer at another local success story called Cadoodle TV, a company that was built with an AWS partnership. When Cadoodle launched, it decided, like many startups do, that maintaining and building infrastructure was not their core focus and offloaded the undifferentiated heavy lifting to AWS. We look forward to hearing about Cadoodle and the company's partnership with AWS. Daniel?
Thank you very much, Patrick. Well, what an exciting day for Calgary and for Alberta. Thank you to AWS for having me today, and thank you to the Honourable Premier and Minister for joining us today. For those of you that don't know, Cadoodle TV is an international global streaming service delivering enriching entertainment experiences to millions of families globally. When we started, it was with a vision to provide safe streaming, quality safe streaming experiences to families all over the world. At the time, the streaming services and alternatives in the marketplace weren't safe. They weren't vetted by humans. The ad technology wasn't safe, and that's what we've built. When we started a number of years ago, it was literally from our basements and living rooms, and it was with the support of AWS that we were able to grow into the company that we are today. I'm very proud that today we have over 90 people working on over 3 continents, the majority of those in Canada, but we build jobs and we provide jobs to this important economy. This all wouldn't have been possible without the cloud. AWS has been there since the beginning, supporting us along the way, encouraging new ideas, thoughts, and ways to grow our business. People like Mike C., our account manager, and Mike P., our technical account manager, who's based here in Calgary. The pandemic, we were one of the companies, luckily, who grew during this time. Not all companies were so lucky. I think it's important that companies embrace technology and embrace the cloud and learn ways to adapt to change. Today, 90 of those people, most of them are still working remotely, which is, kind of funny. But in closing, I would just like to, again, congratulate the City of Calgary and Alberta on this remarkable achievement, and that I'm definitely looking forward to spending some of my AWS budget in this city. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Daniel. For those of you, I've seen Cadoodle TV. My daughter was a big fan of that. And another key element that AWS has done is the digital oil field study that came out in 2020 with June Moore Nickel. Another exciting progressive activity that has been a partnership in Calgary here. At this time, I also want to thank AWS for making a $10,000 contribution to the Calgary Food Bank. This donation is part of AWS's Right Now Needs program. We are all appreciative of the contribution to our community. Before we fire final words, on behalf of Calgary Economic Development, I'd like to take a moment to thank our partners. The campaign to have an AWS be part of the Calgary, Alberta, Canada ecosystem does not come easily. Tracking back through hundreds and hundreds of emails, the number of partners that have been engaged in order to answer the questions of a company the size of AWS and the requirements they have is numerous. The Calgary region has benefited by our partnership with Invest Alberta Corporation, but also the Ministry of Jobs, Economy and Innovation, our friends at Department of Health and actually Department of Labour and of Energy have all played a role. City of Calgary staff, including those in real estate development, approvals, planning, permitting, information technology, business and local economy, are made valuable contributions to get to this point. And a variety of partners outside of the city realm of ENMAX and the Alberta Electric System Operator. It's amazing how we rally together as a community to assist companies of this size to come in and make a change. And I think it bodes well for Calgary, for the province and the country, and I hope it bodes well for our future generations. So on that note, I'd like to thank you all for participating in today's program, and thank you AWS for the terrific investment and the ongoing partnership going forward. Thank you.